Awesome. Thumbs up. I see that. Good. All right. So in order to receive credit for attending NC Bold session, you need to download the Performance Matters app. I'm sure you already have on a mobile device. And you can see how to page by going to that link and that registering code. All right. Again, let me go back. Best video practices. Also, we're going to include intellectual property rights and copyright. My name is Paul Huggins. I am the Instructional Technology Director for Beaufort County Schools in Beaufort County, North Carolina. And before that, I was in the classroom for 16 years. I was a social studies teacher and also pioneered, I hope, the paperless classroom. So anyway, let me go ahead and get going with that. If you want to reach me, you can. My Twitter handle is @Devum. And if you like this presentation, please tweet about it. I'm going to cut my video off now because that distracts me while I'm talking. I believe you can still see the video. So you can find me @Devum on Twitter. And this is a picture I took a long time ago. We were somewhere, and I took this picture as sunset. And as you can see, I have attributed to myself with no copyright on that at all. Let me admit some more people in. CCC 0 means Creative Commons, 0 restrictions on that. So if you are posting information on social media, such as Twitter or any other thing, please use @NCDPIDTL and hashtag NCBold. Hashtag NCBold. I'll put that in chat so you can surely use that. Hope everyone's had a good day today on that. I hope you've learned a lot. We still got a few more presentations left, but how do you feel today about what you've learned? Are you confident, skeptical, scared, static, sad, angry, mischievous, happy, or enraged? So what I want you to do is I want you to go to menti.com and use the code 15581177, or take your mobile device and scan that QR code right there. And I'm going to stop sharing this screen and go to another screen because I want to see your responses. I definitely want to see those responses. How do you feel today? Now, last session, everyone had the exact same answer, which was happy. Are y'all able to get into that?
Can you say the code again?
Oh, yeah. Let me, I'll put the code in the chat. How about that?
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Yep. It was, there it is right there. I would definitely place it there. And there's your Legos. There we go. Menti.com. Confident, love it. Love the confidence. That's great. In Menti, as you probably already know and have used today, the more you put it in there, the bigger it gets. That was a confident, I think. Happy was a big one today too, also, which was nice. It's always nice to have some good professional development. All right, I believe everyone's answered that wants to answer it. I'm going to back to the presentation. All right. So news flash, guys, if I can get to it. Here we go. Oop, keeps going back. Okay. News flash is we are back in school, I hope. I know Governor Cooper made an announcement at 2 o'clock. I don't know what he was announcing because I've been presenting all day. So I don't know what is going on with that. I hope we're back in school. I hope we're back normal. Some of this presentation was produced when we were in the asynchronous learning. So one video will be about that, but it still applies to synchronous learning when it comes to video lessons. So we'll get to that one a little later. So it can be challenging now that we're in the classroom and where all of these students are used to using video, are used to seeing us on screen. So that can be a challenging, and hopefully today we'll find a way which can use that and leverage it to make a better classroom experience and put you as a teacher in two places at one time. So here's some things that we can do. What are some of those things? We can be flexible and we can be strong. Well, it's like a tree I got there. You can be flexible with your time, with your scheduling, with your location now, and you can be strong in the tools that you have learned while you were remote teaching, and you can use those tools in a face-to-face environment. You can also be strong with your empathy towards other teachers and to students, and you also can be strong in your PLC groups. PLC is a strong way in which you as a teacher can expand your horizons, not only in your classroom and learn from experiences there. You can learn from across the hall. You can learn from the whole school itself, from the district. I suggest that you go worldwide and you use the methods that are in social media to allow you to reach out to people and get ideas and use fantastic lessons and stuff that you can get all from social media. I used social media for this particular presentation. I used Twitter to find some resources, and you're going to see some of those later in it. And some of those resources were actually from the author themselves, who sent me stuff to show you here today. So let's start off with video lessons. Jump right into it, the best practices. All right, our goals today. I hope you will understand how to have the concept of what a video lesson is, compare the pros and cons of videos themselves, investigate examples of what it can look like, and what not to do. I'm going to use myself as a video lesson of what not to do. And also learn some tools that you can use to create videos for yourself. So first of all, we're going to play a game called Scattergories. I like to use this game as a brain break. It comes up, this particular link is in the presentation, and every time you click it, it will come up with a different game of Scattergories, a different category. Has anyone played Scattergories before? Just give me in the chat, yes. No one's ever played? Not for 20 years. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's definitely it's a cool game though, and it's great for brain break. It's great to start. It's great to start an introduction to class. It's great to break up the monotony in class. It's great if you're doing online. You can do this. So I'm going to click this link, and I'm going to give you a category of B. Okay, of B. I want you to use a piece of paper to your side, scribble down some answers to these. And how this works is the category is, the letter is B, and I'm going to give you a category of things. And you're going to name things in these categories that start with B. Okay, you have 120 seconds. So write these down, and we'll go over them at the end of the 120 seconds. You can see the screen, right? And let's start. First one is sandwiches, followed by occupations, celebrities, nicknames, items in a catalog, things you replace, store names, menu items, things you get tickets for, footwear, wireless things, music groups. And I will give you 99 more seconds to complete those, and then we'll see what you got. Be right back. All right, you got about 40 more seconds. And just about time's up. And we are done. All right, so let's go over it. Here we go. All right, let's reveal the answers. Time's up. Yep. Let's reveal the answers. Sandwiches. What did y'all get for sandwiches? You can type in the text or you can speak. Barbecue. Awesome. That is the best North Carolina food there is. Barbecue. Bacon. Oh, that bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwich. Awesome. Anything else? All right, occupations. Butler, I thought of. Ballerina, awesome. Bartender. Butcher. I think that was a great one right there. Celebrities. Bob Vila. Bob Vila, exactly. Beyonce. Nicknames. I immediately thought of my next door neighbor, which is Bill, for William. Bookworm, baby, Bubba. Items in a catalog. Blue jeans. Bell bottoms. Bulbs, flowers. All right. Things you repair. Buttons. Yes, definitely buttons. Bag of trash. Yes, falls apart. Big hole in it. Light bulbs. Right. Store names. I think here in Eastern North Carolina, Belk Tyler is probably one of the biggest ones I know when I was growing up. Big Lots is another one. Menu items. I think of bagels, burgers, right? Blue crab. Oh, great. Barbecue again. Awesome. Things you get tickets for. Things you get a ticket for. I immediately thought of breaking the law. Footwear. Basketball shoes. Wireless things. No one? No answers for wireless things? A brick phone. Dating myself. Musical groups. Bob Marley. Bluetooth headphones. Very good for the blues. Beatles. Very good. Blue Man Group. I don't know. Is that a musical group? All right. So this is an activity. Now, this particular activity, I showed you this. I went through all this for one reason. This activity, I'm gonna put in the chat. It's also in your presentation. Every time you go here, it's different. So if I refresh this page, I come up with a different letter and different categories every time. So you can use this and it's always different every time you use it. You can change the time. You can change it to anything you want, up or down. You can change the number that you want. So you only want 10 this time. You got a smaller class, or you got lower grade students. You can go with 5. Great to talk about vocabulary if you wanted to. I've set it to 5 now. And so I only have 5 with letter O. Animals, great way to talk. So it's a great brain break for your classroom, whether it's online or offline. You can use this. All right, we'll get back now to the presentation and classrooms for success. Well, I think everyone should have in the classroom an instructional hub. And that is a place where, you can put your name, your class schedule, your office hours, contact information, a professional headshot, which is always a good thing to have, and a link to whatever LMS you're using, whether it's Seesaw, Canvas, Google Classroom, or a link to not just your LMS, but a link to what you're doing in the classroom at that particular week, and links to the math or the exercises or the reading passage or whatever. So how can families help and support you in making your site better? Anyone want to tell me in the chat? They can give you great feedback when it comes to how it looks, how you can make it more easily understandable for them and their students, their children. Don't be an egghead. Have a professional picture up. It's always good to have a professional picture of yourself up there. When I get an email from someone, I'm more like to look at it and recognize it if I know who's it from than just initials or just an egghead when it has these little pictures in where they put one in where as a placeholder for you. So the ways to personalize yourself online is to have a professional picture of yourself. And you can do pictures with anything. Your phone, all Androids and iPhones have high definition cameras, and you definitely can put that file in as your picture. Classrooms for Success also use communication tools. And though I don't know which ones you have, but some examples of communication tools are your website, Blackboard Connect, LMS discussion boards, Remind if you use those, Seesaw. Oh, I went out of presentation mode for some reason. Seesaw, Flipgrid, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams. There's a lot of things you can use to communicate with your parents. Those are tools that you can do to communicate with your students and your parents. So a video lesson. A video lesson is a chunked material into a smaller portions. Chunk that video lesson into real small portions, and so you don't give too much information at one time. I'll have a video in a minute about that. Incorporate what the tools in your video lesson, if you need to incorporate tools that students are comfortable with. You don't need to introduce something in your classroom and with something they don't understand, like you're giving a video of go to this site and do this, and they've never done it before. Differentiate the needs of each student. And how is a great way that I would use video lessons, and I have used it before in the past, is to be in two places at one time. So I videoed myself the night before of a lesson, or a child have a question or something, or I want to introduce a new concept on that. And what I did was I recorded myself, and it's just a short 2-3 minute lesson, and I played it on the board for the whole class. And I'm in the class walking around, answering questions, making them pay attention, facilitating the learning, and being in classroom at the same time in two different places. And how it's a great way to differentiate your students' needs too, by being there with them while they're looking at you teaching a concept or an introduction, or a bell ringer you're doing. So also in video lessons, it's really great to prioritize social emotional learning. SEL is a great way to celebrate students and their success. There's absolutely nothing wrong with celebrating a student every day for something. Johnny, you did a great job on that quiz. Sally, what a fantastic project. Or, Richard, wow. I know you like the Raiders. They did great the other day. Not that they do great, but I mean, they did great the other day, or the Panthers or whatever. Know your students. Video lessons, let me go back. They are student-centered, of course. You're talking directly to the student. Collaboration with you and the use of that technology, or collaboration with you and the student or each other. Lessons and content start with a bell ringer or an announcement. I call them announcements. Some of these lessons can begin the class. Your bell ringer can be just a video of you. It can be anything. More on that later, how you would do that. Interact with them, ask them questions back and forth, and then you can help yourself in the classroom because you're on the video screen and you're there by answering questions and prodding deeper questions. Try to gear toward deeper questions, deeper understanding, the mastery of concepts of your lesson. Start a video by explaining something, doing an activity, directing them to a game, a discussion, a reading. You can read a book to them while you're on the video, and then circulate the room while you're doing that, prodding questions. Internet resources, anything can be in a video lesson. What is one variable that can prevent effective learning of a student? That would be engagement. Engagement is everything. I can sit by the pool all day, but I'm not engaged until I get in that water. And then me and the water are engaged. So every engagement with the student is everything. Get them doing something, collaborating with each other, talking with them, answering questions. Now, I'm not going to make you go through this activity, but this is one that is in the presentation, and I think it's really cool. It's what if you won the lottery? It is something that can be a brain break and creative. I try to use creative things for the brain breaks, where they learn, where they talk to each other, where they create. This one is, imagine a situation where you've suddenly received a whole lot of money. This might be through the lottery win. Consider what you would do with that. Would you build a dream house? Would you buy a car? Would you buy your mom a car? Show everything that you create, and do that through creating through Legos. That was what we started off with today. This particular website, you go to click the link and it goes to a Lego building website where they can click and hold and build and create and then show it off to the class on theirs. I usually do about 10 minutes for that activity, but like I said, I won't be doing that here. All right, so what is chunking a lesson? Well, this video will show you in a short 2-3 minutes how you can chunk a lesson.
081127882 is a hard number to remember. If you chunk the number into 081127882, it's easier. Cutting large bits of information into smaller pieces helps us to understand. If we put small pieces back together, we can see the big picture, and that helps us to remember. The process is called chunking. This is how it works. Our short-term memory is fast but tiny. According to learning expert Dr. Oakley, it can hold only 4 chunks of information at once. So when new inputs arrive, it has 2 ways to pick them up. First, it can overwrite and forget what it has to make space for new information. Or it can use mental effort to move a chunk from the working memory into the long-term memory, where it can be stored and remembered later. This is why it's almost impossible to recall 9 digits like 081127882. There is simply not enough space. Once chunked, there is. There are several ways to chunk. You can break a larger piece into smaller bits, identify patterns, or group pieces to see the larger picture. Once a chunk is created, you can use deliberate practice to move it into your long-term memory where it connects with existing experiences. Now it can be stored for years and, if regularly used, accessed without much mental effort. To make this transfer more effective, it helps to add context, which acts like memory superglue. Great instructors always try to give you the big picture before going into detail. If you study by yourself, you can skim through your textbook first by reading chapter headlines. Learning facts without understanding the big picture is pretty useless, as we will forget what we have learned very fast. Professional piano teachers first show their students the entire song so they understand the mood. Then they ask their students to practice one measure at a time. Once the part has been learned and the neural connections in the brain have been built, then students go on to the next measure. After all chunks can be played separately, they are combined until the entire piece is connected. Now the student can play the piece with less mental effort. Chunking also helps to understand complex topics, say trade between China and India. First, study China, the people, the culture, and the economy. Then summarize and put what you learned in your own simple language. Repeat the process for India. Then study trade itself, the mechanics, benefits, and problems. Again, simplify to form an underlying idea. At the end, you might just have summarized several books onto one napkin. Try chunking next time you feel the limits of your working memory. Just like how clever restaurants chunk their menus into starters, mains, and desserts with 3 to 4 options each. With chunking, it's easy to compare our options and make a decision. If you like our videos and want to support our channel, visit us at patreon.com/sprouts and see if you want to donate just $1. With your support, we plan to create many more minute videos about learning and education.
So that's what a chunking video is. So when you make a video lesson, best practice for that is to chunk that material. And what I'm going to show you now is some best practices for video lessons or for mini lessons or for full video lessons, whether they're going to be live or recorded. If you're recording yourself either live or doing something live or want to record it, save it for a later use. I've worked 7 years for North Carolina Virtual Public Schools. And so I use a lot of video. That's an asynchronous course that I do for high school. And so what happens is that they take the lessons during the day, and then I do the grading and do the videoing that I do and do the lesson stuff at night. So when I have questions from students, I answer them in a video recording that is played for the whole class. And it may help not only one student, but may help many students on that. And so I've done some things in the past that I didn't do very well. And so I took some of those things and showed what not to do and what to do in the next few slides. So notice your background. An attractive background is much more appealing than one that is cluttered with a whole lot of stuff. Remove or cover up objects that will distract the student. You can see on the left that my video over here has got Jurassic Park, Mickey Mouse in here, a couple of objects here and there, and it can be very distracting when it comes to students. On the right, my lighting was not perfect on this one. There's a fact where I was distracted by a Captain America poster in the back. On that here, I remember the day I made this particular video, a student asked me a question about World War I, and I had gone immediately, went to go make a video, and I like to do videos outside because the lighting's good. And I went to my garage, it's pouring down rain. And so I filmed the video, and I get washed out sometimes during the course of the video through the background is so bright in the darkness that I was sitting in. I could have turned the video around, but I'm going to show my background anyway. So if your background is very dark, make sure that you have sufficient light for it. It's always great to have a good lighting near a window, outside, or in a bright room. And the more you practice, the better you will be at videoing yourself. Every room has different sound properties. So notice your soundscape. We as humans are able to tune out things. Ask my wife, she'll tell you I tune out her a lot. I don't mean to, but I do. But mics cannot tune out anything. They hear everything around you, whether it's a banging going on in the background, or dogs, or appliances, or a window with the street, children playing outside, all these things and many more types of things can distract the student and hinder them learning. So try to damper any sound when you're recording. I was on vacation with my family a couple of years ago. It was pre-COVID, so it was about 18, I think. And while I was on vacation, I got an email from one of my students asking me a question about the age of exploration. So I said, okay, well, I'm here. We're waiting for a bus to go to a restaurant. So I've got 5 minutes. I'll just make a quick video. So I made this quick video, not knowing what was going around me. And when you listen to it, you hear the cars going by and stuff like that. And I'm walking around the building. And when I walk around the building, the sound drops and you can hear. And I didn't realize how distracting this could have been to a student until after I'd already sent it to them. So here's an example of what not to do and watch your soundscape. And it's an example of video lesson. Hey guys, I hope you looked over or will look over very shortly the piece I had on God, Glory, and Gold. This particular part of history has to deal with exploration. The exploration of Europeans into the Americas. God, glory, and gold are the three motivating factors for exploration. God, exploring to bring others to your religion, missionaries. Glory, to bring glory to your nation or to yourself, recognition for doing something heroic and historical. And lastly, gold. Gold is a motivator because that makes people rich. These factors fueled exploration, especially during the age of exploration. That, combined with new scientific improvements, such as the astrolabe for navigation, the caravel ship, made exploration easy and affordable for those explorers that wish to find fame and glory. Remember, God, glory, and gold. Have a great day. Listen to your classroom teacher. Complete the assignments that she gives you. And if you have any questions, always message me in Canvas. Bye. So it's something what not to do when you're videoing. Although the lesson was there and it was great to give that feedback to the student, I could have made it doing a lot better by noticing my background, because I don't know if the student was distracted by that and didn't learn. So this particular video was made on Apple Clips on my iPhone. It's a free app that's on iPhone, and I just made it right quick. It comes with titles and music and all that's copyright free stuff that we'll talk about later, but it was done with Apple Clips. Light yourself. Okay. Try to use the same lighting setup for your videos, regardless of the time of day. You may have to cover a window or buy a lamp or something. What you want to do is you want to set things up with soft lighting on your face. Harsh lighting from a single point will cause harsh shadows. Don't do it underneath. You can see my gray beard. And on the top, you can see my balding head. So my bald head, not balding. And that again can distract students. Be aware of your eye level. Eye level is really crucial when it comes to videoing, because you want to make sure you're looking straight at the person that you're videoing, you're talking to. So avoid angling the camera up too high or angling it too low. It's best if you can prop the camera up at eye level, and you'll get the best results for recording a video. Now, one thing about professional development and one thing about PLCs is, if you get on Twitter, you get on worldwide media, you can ask people that you have met or people that you know are really versed in a particular subject. You can ask them for something. Kristen Zemke is a person I had met a long time ago and seen her at a conference. I think it was probably like 15. And I follow her on Twitter. And so I asked her, it was during COVID. So I asked her, was there material that I could use for creating a video lesson during this time? So this is actually done during COVID, but the lessons that she will teach you in here can be used exactly today. So she's really good. And I don't just take a few minutes to kind of watch her, and she will give you a great thing. And this one is used with author permission.
Hey everybody, Kristen Zemke here to talk to you a little bit about video mini lessons today. First, I hope you are healthy. I hope you are safe. I hope your loved ones are healthy and safe as well. And to all the teachers out there, thank you for being awesome. To the principals, thank you for supporting your people. To the kids, don't worry, we've got this. We still have school. It's just school looking a little bit different than it did in weeks or years past. So today I want to talk to you about tools of the trade for video mini lessons. First, your video mini lesson will probably be shorter than a face-to-face mini lesson. When we craft video mini lessons, we want them to be 4, 5, 6 minutes in length so that we can capture kids' attention and break it into chunks. So really be mindful of the time. If you look at the bottom or sometimes at the top of your screen, there should be a counter letting you know where you are on this journey. The next important thing is to have your trusty tools nearby. Teachers, it could be pens, markers of any sort, but we want to be able to draw and write our thinking. We want to be able to make anchor charts for kids and show them what this lesson looks like before they go off, press pause, and try on their own. What does this look like? My favorite tool for any type of mini lesson is just blank copy paper. Right? It doesn't have to be fancy. We can make this into a 2-column chart. We can make it into a 3-column chart. We can make an anchor chart. We can invite kids to draw and write their thinking. So many different ways. Just plain copy paper, I think, is your best tool because it allows for personalization. Just like in the classroom, we want to craft scaffolds and supports for kids. So whether it's math workshop or writing or reading workshop, one of the key tools that we use with students is anchor charts. And if you're a super nerd like me, maybe you have chart paper that you brought home to your house and have found a way to hang up with some old twine that I found in the back of a drawer. I also have my trusty markers to go right on that. If you're not so nerdy, that's fine too. And an anchor chart can simply be crafted on a piece of white copy paper and shared with students. Here is my view to learn. anchor chart, what we would use when we're applying some strategies for thinking critically and comprehending about video. I just laid it out like I would a typical anchor chart. I'll probably snap a photo of this and send it home for students, or put it in a place either on Seesaw or on a classroom website or Google Classroom where I house all of my resources. And then I think the last thing that you might need are your mentor text or mentor materials. Books are great tools. We can hold up things very easily. It doesn't have to be super complicated or MGM production quality of video. Dr. Lodge McCammon talks a lot about this idea of one take video. And what he says is just do it raw, do it authentic, be there for your kids, and then make another video for the next step. I'm not going to drop this tutorial into iMovie and edit it. This is exactly what you're going to see and what I would share with my colleagues and students as well. The power of one-take video is very similar to me to what Matt Glover and Katie Wood-Ray talk about with bookmaking. Instead of going back and like rewriting the whole stapled together book and revising the whole thing, make another book and you'll apply some of the strategies you learned from the previous round. Same thing is true with mini lesson video. Make another video and you're going to get better with it over time as well. Mentor tech, books, things that we create to hold up. I can even hold up like my iPad or smartphone and model something for students. I can do a lot of think alouds through this process. If I have my math manipulatives, I'll put them right in front of me here and start counting with that as well. I think what's most important is that we create videos that feature us for our students. No one knows our kids as well as we do. And it only takes a few minutes to craft those pieces for students. We do insert some different language, such as press pause and write that down. Go off and do some reading based on this article I sent you. Press play when you come back and watch the rest of the video. And so as we think about some of those pieces, we go back to our classic architecture of a mini lesson, right? Where we tell kids what we're going to teach them and why, where we give them a couple minutes of instruction, watch me, and then I'm going to let you go do it. When we say I'm going to let you go do it, that active engagement or that guided practice piece might look like us coaching them to press pause, right? Go have a try. Here I drew my little stick figure going to a computer with kids on it and saying, now you go have a try, right? When you're done, press play and watch the rest of the video. And that's when we conclude with that link part. So as you go off and do this work in the next couple of days, be thinking about XYZ. You guys can do this. You know how to do this. It's just like a mini lesson in your classroom, only you're talking to the computer. And while that might feel odd for a couple of minutes, we need to model this type of thinking for kids. And in just a few short days, it will feel like something you've always done. Good luck. Let me know if you need support. Go get it. Bye.
Like I said, this video was made during COVID, so a lot of the stuff on this video you can still use though, especially the be yourself. One take. We all make mistakes and we become more endeared to our students when they see us make that and try not to be perfect. So what did we just learn? A short video, mini lesson is a short video of yourself teaching a lesson, whether it's an introduction, a concept, an example, or just an overview or something, or reading aloud to a kid. The following strategies and tools you will use to create video for your students in the slides to come. The most important thing about it is be authentic. Your kids want to see and hear from you, and no one knows them better than yourself. So do a one take, be yourself. Don't try to make it perfect. You can use many different mediums for your video lessons. When you can hold up paper, you can hold up charts, your phone, digital posters, pictures, anything that works for you. All you got to do is put it up to the camera. You don't have to insert it and edit it and all that. So the structure of a mini lesson goes as follows. You greet, hello, you teach, you show, you do, and then you can have a burning question, a deeper understanding to continue it. I do like that. Like I said, this is attributed with to Kristen, used with permission of the author for educational purposes. And I got this through Twitter. Like I said, I messaged her. She messaged me back, sent me this material. So how you record your mini lesson? How will you make these lessons? Well, you can make them with the webcam, something you attach to your laptop or top of your computer. A laptop computer has a video camera in it. Your iPad camera, your iPhone camera, your Android camera, all of these have great devices which you can use to make videos with on there. You can use any the applications you can use to make a video lesson and make it, enhance it more. Flipgrid, Edpuzzle, Clips, Screencastify. All these are easily searchable on the internet, and you can find tutorials on how to use any of these. These are the 4 easiest ones that I know. So now that we talked about video lessons, what can we put in them? What can we use? What can we use in our lessons at all, in our presentations, in the classroom? So we're going to talk a little bit now. The second part of this is intellectual property and fair use. What, why, and how. So just like we did with the Lego, what do you feel about copyright? How do you feel when someone says copyright? So either scan this with your phone or go to menti.com and use the code 3536-0066 and tell me how you feel about copyright. 3536-0066. Yes, thank you. And I will now go to that particular slide. As you can see earlier today, these are some of the questions that I had from earlier in our lessons at NC Bold. Was everyone able to get into it? There we go. Stressed. Yes, that's a common one I hear with that. Apprehensive, complicated, confusing. Anyone else want to add? So complicated was the biggest one. It can be complicated, but it doesn't have to be complicated. So let's go back to our presentation here and talk about the sharing in education. Well, technically, it's very easy to share in education, especially out of the time we just came out of with remote teaching. Legally, it isn't so easy. So what is sharing education? Well, educators should understand intellectual property, or IP. They should understand fair use, the law, copyright laws, and Creative Commons laws. Creative Commons places to find things. And successfully apply these and teach correct attribution as a critical 21st century skill. Why? Well, it's part of being a good digital citizen, and demonstrating and understanding intellectual property rights and abiding copyright law, IP, and fair use guidelines is a good thing. Teach and require the use of copyright law and fair use in all your student work and their creation, and it is part of the North Carolina digital learning competencies. So beware of the following. These are good tips for you. Check out who owns it. Get permission to use it if possible. Give credit to the creator always. And if you want to buy it, but you don't have to buy anything. And use it responsibly. Any material or anything gotten for anything for teaching, pictures, music, whatever it may be. The founders of this country found that copyright was hugely important. They wanted this country to grow, and they wanted people to be able to create, and they wanted to make these fantastic inventions and get money from their gains, rewards from it, fame. And so they put it in the U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8. This is the patent and copyright clause of the Constitution. Copyright grants a set of exclusive rights to the creators. But copyright does not protect facts or ideas. only the expression of those facts and ideas. And that's where fair use comes in for teachers. In 1976, President Carter signed into law that anything that was done was automatically copyrighted. So you don't have to register your work anymore. If a student is performing a work of a musical performance for a band and someone records that and sells it, that student has the rights on that copyright for that particular performance. So understand that you don't have to register anything anymore. If you say it, do it, create it, paint it, write it, it's automatically copyright now. So how long does copyright last? Well, in most parts of the world, copyright lasts the life of the creator plus 50 years. In our country, it's a little different. Anyone kind of guess why it's different in this country? Just put it in the chat. There's a big hint on this screen. Anyone? Lawyers. Yep, that's one thing. That's one thing. The big difference in the United States is Mickey Mouse and Walt Disney. Walt Disney created Mickey Mouse, of course, and about 50 years after it was created, 50 years after the death of the author of it, the Disney Corporation took this to court because they didn't want Mickey Mouse to go into public domain where anyone could use it. So the court sided with Disney and gave it 56 years. Okay, all right. And then 6 years went by and Walt Disney Corporation went again to court and made it plus 75 years. And it almost went into public domain. And then 95 years it went into public domain. It will go into public domain. So the next time Mickey Mouse comes up for public domain will be 2023. So what would you guess the Walt Disney Corporation is going to do between now and 2023? They're going to extend it. So it's probably going to get extended forever on Mickey Mouse. So some countries like the USA have granted the public some rights to use copyright works without permission. This exemption is called fair use. And education has specific rights when it comes to fair use. Good faith reliance on fair use by teachers is needed more than ever, particularly in this past year's learning environment. Example, I was really touched when a lot of authors and publishers came on during COVID and gave open permission to access their books and, quote, allowing the reading of aloud. That's great. But none of those publishers' temporary licenses limits you as a teacher and your ability to use fair use. We've been using fair use since there's been schools. Have you ever seen your kids in the library getting a read book by the librarian? That's allowed. So remember that fair use is not a right. Fair use is a right. Your right as a teacher. It's not a concession by the copyright holders. It is your right to use it in educational environments. Now, how you use copyright, that is a very important thing because you have to meet 4-factor tests to do it. It has to be material that is face-to-face in a classroom. Online classrooms, online sessions are considered face-to-face. LMSs are considered face-to-face. Google Classroom, Canvas, they're all face-to-face. Seesaw. And is the material part of your curriculum? That's number one. Is it face-to-face and is it part of your curriculum? Number two, what is the purpose of this? Are you doing something different or transformative with the material? Well, if I am reading a book in class and I'm having it open for discussion, I'm creating a public forum on that. And that's not how that book was originally written. It was written to be enjoyed by reading it and ingesting it yourself. Or if I'm showing a video, that video was meant to be maybe a motion picture, but I want to show parts of that video that express something in my curriculum that I'm doing face-to-face. I'm transforming that video by showing it and opening up questions and making it a transforming video for my educational experience in my classroom. Example, when I was teaching in history about immigration, I wanted to compare early 1800s Mexican immigration to 20th century American immigration. And so during the early 1800s, Mexico, of course, had owned a lot of the southwestern United States, and they invited Americans into their country to settle it. And so hundreds and thousands of Americans came and settled in North Mexico, and that was called Texas. And after a while, more Americans lived in Mexico than lived in Mexico. And so then Mexicans lived in Mexico. So that started a problem with their immigration system. So I compared that to immigration today. How is it like? How is it not like? How is it different? And so I showed segments of the movie The Alamo, which was Texas independence, a revolution in Texas. So that's how I made it transformative and using it for a purpose different than it was originally meant to be. Number 3, the amount used. Is the amount you're using appropriate? Do you have to use the whole thing? You can use the whole thing, but do you have to? So kind of consider that when you're doing something. When you're doing a book study, do you have to use the whole book, or can you use portions of it? You can use it if you want to. It's just something to consider. And lastly, is anyone making money or losing money on it? So if you are, I see some of these schools that have like movie night or movie during the course of school year for some reason. You can't charge admission for that because someone will be losing money. You can charge for the concessions if you have a license to play that movie, your school does, but you can't charge admission for the movie. That's an example of someone losing money on something. If you were to copy a book that you're using in class, you can use that material, no problem. That's fair use, but you can't copy the material for fair use. You have to have the book for it to do that because someone's losing money on purchasing the materials. So I've got a lot more on attribution and where free resources are. I won't go through all of these. I won't go through any of these. The link is here, and I've created a website which you can go to places like Pixabay, like Unsplash, that has free resources for pictures. Pixabay also has music, like I said at the beginning, and there's icons and stuff that you can use in all your lessons at that link there. So if you like today's lesson, tweet about it. It's a great way as professionals for you to learn from other professionals. And remember, anything you do with your lessons on your videos, you have to have front-end development. The front end, if you put time in it, you'll be able to use a video over and over again every year for the same introduction on the same material. So you got this, you can do it. It's no problem. I know you can video. It's just a matter of getting used to it. The more you do it, the more you'll be able to do it. So do you have any questions? I'll open up the floor now about copyright or videoing. Just turn your mic on and ask. Practicing my wait time. Well, great. You can find me at Devum on Twitter or email me at Beaufort. phuggins@beaufort.k12.nc.us. This work that I've done is licensed under Creative Commons 4.0, which means you can use it, copy it, change it, rearrange it any way you want to, and that's fine by me. Special thanks to Kathy Parker at DPI, Holly King at Dare County, and Donna Murray at DPI also for their contributions and things I got from them. So again, you got this. Don't worry about it. And here is your code to scan. I think, wait, do I click this? I'll do this. Can I move it? There we go. You can scan this code to get your credit, or alternatively, you can go to the link at the bottom and just take me a yes in chat if you've got it. And then we're done. We got a few minutes early.
So this is my first time using this QR code for something. Have you done this before, like on my end? And like I see something about an app that I need to put on my phone, but then it's asking me for like an access code.
Yes,
You know
the access code's at the beginning. This is where you do the survey. So all you got to do is hold up your phone here, on your
Okay.
camera, and that'll go to the survey. The app is here, right there. If you can still see that.
Yeah. So I downloaded the app, and then like now when I'm in the app, it's asking me for like an access code.
That's it right here at the bottom right. Do you see it?
Okay. I got it. Okay. EXU.
And that'll give you access to your attendance. And then the survey is what you do at the end. So I think it's like a 2-part thing. You sign up,
Yeah.
survey. I think that's how
Yeah.
they're doing the attendance for the CEUs. Did you get it in okay?
Yeah, I think I got it all set.
Okay.
I'm just having to look up all my NC Cloud information because I don't.
Oh yeah, you got to go through NC Cloud. You had to do it.
Yeah, in the middle of the summer, I don't have that memorized right now. I should be able to figure it out. So thank you, Paul.
Yeah, thank you for attending. I appreciate it. Have a great continued summer and enjoy NC Bowl.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Mm-hmm.